Hey there, everyone. I'm making this quick recording to give you an overview of some of the important information in SOLIS before you actually get to SUSE in July, later in July. So I'm on the main home page for SUSE. I guess I should have logged out. So this is what it looks like when you first go to susi.org and then you log in here. There is some information about things that are going on this year so that if other people are interested and they want to see what it's about, they can do that. Once I log in, it's going to take me to my homepage, which is a registration staffer page. Yours won't have all the same things I have. You do have a link for my active registration at the top, or you can get to the confirmation statement and editing your registration here. They both sort of take you to the same place, but I'm going to go up to the Your Active Registration. And here's mine. There's a link to my confirmation statement. It'll take you to the same place the other one does. And then it shows my daughter and I are on the same registration. We have links to change what we are signed up for right here. There are different forms if we forgot to sign up for something, or if we forgot to sign a form, or maybe we've just recently signed up for a trip or workshop that has a waiver, that would show up right here. And then it gives any other suggested forms you might need. Down at the bottom, information about the SUSE Foundation, which tries to make sure that we can always give SUSE-ships, little scholarships for people who need financial assistance. Okay, so I can change my workshops and trips using the calendar method or what they call the old method. And I'm going to show you with the old method because that's the one I prefer. When I get here, it's going to give me options. I can search. Oh my goodness, it's spinning. There we go. Okay. If I want to drop anything, I click here to remove it for a refund prior to July 20th. And I can actually look at the catalog there. If I want to search, these are clickable links. So if you have youth and teens, they might have things in here, sports and games, volunteer jobs, nature trips, workshops, and say I want this one, it automatically populates it over to the side, and then I would just click sign up. But I don't want to take that spot, so I'm not going to. Then since I'm finished with that, I'm going to go click back to my main registration, which of course comes up to me as a staffer, so I have to go back here. Okay, so that is one way to add and drop workshops and trips. The other one is through the calendar view, and I'll show you more about the calendar view in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to go to personal details. This is important if you need to change your housing, or maybe you want to be with a group of people that are all housed close together. You can also use the personal details link to buy a mug book or to put money on a Common Grounds coffee house um, tab. So I'm going to scroll past that. I'm in the adult dorm. There's also a teen dorm, which is not going to show up for me since I'm not between the ages of 14 and 17. If you have children with you, you would either pick the child care co-op, which gives evening babysitting, or the family dorm for no co-op. Since my kids were always at SUSE by the time they got to be older, they didn't necessarily need to be in the co-op anymore. So I might have picked the non-co-op. Personally, I picked the co-op because it was amazing to know that I could go out and somebody else was with them. Medians are sort of a rough age group between like 25, 35, but it sort of varies some. So some medians like to stay together. Um, this is a new one this year, the Meet People area, where if you're interested in meeting people, you can sign up for that. And if you wanted to sign up for something different and can't remember how to get here, just email me and I can do that. I know I'm going to have a roommate, so her name shows up here. And my housing group, we have a number of us that try to get our rooms all together so that we can, be right across from each other when we're coordinating stuff between us. And again, I can help you with that. This would be the place where you would sign up if you wanted to purchase a mug book. It is like a directory of who was at Susie this year, including a photo and their contact information. So that can be really helpful if you're traveling or you're, thinking of, oh gosh, who was that I met that lived in Richmond, Virginia? And you can flip through there. It also has it indexed in the back by cities and and then there's an index of first names, which makes it easy to find if you can't remember anything else. If you are interested in the Common Grounds Coffee House, there's a notebook where you fill out the paper every time you purchase something from there and then just pay it at the end of the week. But some people like to have money on their tab ahead of time. For Common Grounds, I usually put about $10 on there myself. And then at the end of the week, anything I haven't spent rolls over for next year, so I don't have to worry about that. Um, a coffee or tea is roughly about $2. They have a variety of teas and coffees and hot water. So you just kind of make your own through there. Okay, this would be your place for dietary needs, mobility needs, etc. And then when you're done, you save changes. Okay, and then I'm going to get back to the regular participant view here in a minute. All right, so I keep talking about the confirmation statement, but I have yet to click on it. Susie calendar is right here. I'm going to do this first. I promise I will get to the other one. So this is going to, oh no, that is not the one I wanted. Ignore that. Okay, let me actually go to confirmation statement. This is the one that I wanted. So this has you the place that we will be going to meet on July 19th. This shows you how to put that information into your GPS so it will take you to the correct place. If you owe money, it's going to show here. This is the calendar I wanted to show you, which is your Susie calendar. This shows your items as well as the items for all of Susie, and I already have it open. All of these dynamic calendars and catalogs take a little while to load, so sometimes you have to wait. Since my daughter and I are on the same registration, it's going to show both of us. She has blue, so if I uncheck that, her items go away. If she were on our registration and unchecked mine, then she shows there. And this shows all of the things. So if you can't remember what time is breakfast, you can click here and it tells you right away what time it is, what time is morning worship, etc. So all of that is done through the Susie calendar. There are things that go on nearly 24 hours a day. So there's a little empty spot between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., which is why in your newcomer information, I tell you to make sure you've built in some time to rest now and again. Okay, let me go back to, yes, confirmation packet. I'm going to scroll down. This next link, confirmation news, is really important. It has pages and pages and pages of information from arriving on Sunday, July 19th to departure the following Saturday. And I'm going to have to make this scroll a little bit faster. I believe it's 18 pages. If you feel uncomfortable about being able to find things online in a new place, you might want to print out certain pages. I will print some copies of the map in color because I think that makes it much easier to have that on an actual piece of paper. So this is the quad that we usually use. It's called the Moffett Quad. And then Heath is the building where we have registration check-in. So for check-in parking, we have these two lots here, DD and EE. And I learned a couple years ago that you can actually tell your GPS that you want parking lot EE at Bradford University, and the GPS will take you right to that parking lot. I guess I just always assumed you had to have a physical address of a building before. So that huge document is the confirmation news spelled N-U-U-S. Um, your SUSE calendar, I just showed you. There's a participant locator form, and people print them and put them on their doors. You could print out your, let me get to the right one. You could print out your SUSE calendar and do that as well. I will tell you, if there's an emergency and I'm looking for you, I'm not going to run to your door and look on your door first. The first thing I'm going to do is pull up your schedule in SOLIS. And then if I can't find you, then I'll send a runner to your door. Um, so I think it's a nice thing to have on there. I post mine and my daughter posts hers just so we can quickly glance and figure out where we are. But in an emergency, trust me, I'm going to go to Solace first because I think that'll be the fastest way. Okay, so down here, these are all the things we're signed up for, and these are clickable links. So if I click on the link for restorative meditative yoga, it will pull up that workshop. It will tell me where it's located, and it's going to remind me of things that I might need. This is really important if you are taking a nature trip, particularly because there might be particular footwear that you need, or you might have to have hiking boots or closed-toe shoes or a certain amount of water. So that is always a good one. And if you can't remember, let's see how we're doing here. This is the catalog, and I've searched for the word canoe. And when I look at it, when I click on it, it opens it up and gives it more information. So this shows you what those required items are. And from the catalog, I can sign up right here. I'm going to click on this one because I know it's full. So this one, Evening Canoe, is full, but I could click the Start Watching. When you're watching an event that's full, Solace will send you an email telling you that there's an opening so that you know. You can also let me know, and I will jot down your name and what you're watching. I'm in Solace a whole bunch between now and Susie, so I can just spot check it from time to time and sign you up when something is available. Okay, so this was through the catalog. I'm also going to go to, if we go to susi.org, remember in Solace, solace.org has a link to the catalog as well. And then susi.org has a link to register. So I scrolled down to the nature trips. When I get down here, and again, the dynamic view, you have to let things load for a little while. These two links are really important. You may not notice they're clickable links right away, but right above it, it says make sure you arrive at the nature tent 15 minutes before the departure time. That's when they're going to go over everything. And if you haven't gotten into a trip, some people just show up at the nature tent ready to go. And that way, if somebody's a no-show, they can take that spot. The frequently asked questions are important. The shoe requirements are important. When you click on that link, it opens it up and shows you what's okay for certain things, what is not okay. Water shoes will not stay on your feet well enough for them to go on an aquatics trip, etc. So, and you can always stop by the nature tent, any other day and ask them as well. Okay, so that is from the catalog, nature, frequently asked questions, and then the shoe requirements. All right, let me come back over here to our confirmation information. If you have youth or teens, your information is going to show up. Ooh, click something. Your information for them is also going to show up here. We have a letter from the youth director, Jen Blosser, about the youth program, a letter from Jesse McKeon about the teen program. So those will all be linked if you meet that criteria. I'm not going to have those because I don't have any young children anymore. You all should also have a newcomer letter in there that gets auto-populated. All right, was that it? Let's see. We talked about mug books and housing and how to find out what's required for your workshops, nature trips. Ooh, I think that is it. Okay, so your active registration and then confirmation statement. And this gets you to the big chunk of information that you need to make sure you check before you get to Susie. Okay, reach out to me if there's anything I forgot, and I'll put it in the next video. Thank you, everyone.